Hey, it's Andrew Huang. So there's something that has consumed a lot of my thoughts for most of my adult life, and it's taken different forms over the years, but it generally boils down to the question, what more can I be doing for my music career? Before I had a music career, I asked myself some version of that question, and over the years, as I've navigated so many different ways of making a living with music, that has continually popped up. It's like an itch that demands to be scratched. Even after achieving a wonderful amount of success, there's still that line of questioning. Should I be doing something more? Should I be doing something different? I don't think these kinds of questions are bad in and of themselves. I think it's a good idea to think about what you really want to be doing and how to do it best. But I will say that the period of my life and the work that I was doing that was responsible for the vast majority of my success, that was a time where I wasn't asking these questions at all. And I thought I would talk about that and what I learned through it, because this has been one of the biggest things I've had to grapple with professionally. So first, we should define success for the purposes of this video. I think on that ultimate deep down level, anybody who's found contentment and fulfillment with where they're at is the most successful of all. I hope we can all get there. We're not talking about that. This video is about how to get money. So for success the way society says you're successful, here's the thing. This is what I've learned the hard way multiple times over many, many years. If you want the most possible success, you have to have the most possible focus. So to have the most possible focus, how many things can you focus on? One. If you're trying to make the best possible cooking tutorials, but you're also reupholstering a bunch of furniture, I'm sorry, but your cooking tutorials are just gonna be better if you never touch that furniture again. You can't dabble in a bunch of things, you can't be inconsistent, you need to have the strongest possible brand and a repeatable product. Now, I don't worry about this so much anymore. I no longer have a single all-consuming focus at work. I'm no longer prioritizing numbers-based success, money, views, followers, and I'll talk more about that later. But at this time in my life that I mentioned, where I wasn't questioning myself career-wise at all, and I was doing the best I had ever done, here's what was going on. I had made a decision. I had decided that growing my YouTube channel would be my one and only professional goal. Everything I worked on had to serve that goal. And I made a giant spreadsheet of all my video ideas, and I prioritized them based on which ones I thought would be the most popular and which ones I thought would be the fastest to produce. I also decided on a schedule for myself of 2 videos per week, every Monday and every Thursday. This was my best estimate of what I thought I could commit to, and I did. Over the next year and a half, I think I only missed 3 or 4 upload days. It was a new video every Monday, every Thursday. And over that year and a half, this channel did the best it's ever done. I grew by over 1 million subscribers. I think at the height of it, I was getting 8 million views per month. And I wasn't questioning if I should be doing more because I had already decided how much I'd be doing, 2 videos a week. And I wasn't questioning if I should be doing anything differently because it was just, what's the best thing for the channel? I'll do that. I had that list of video ideas that I was continually adding to, so I always had the next thing to do. It was just, which of these can I get done next week? The most interesting part about it for me, though, is that I felt like I had found a hack around this issue of branding and consistency. I already took everything out of the box. I just thought this would make the video more exciting. Gonna take a quick break here for a sponsored segment. This is the LCT 1040, a new microphone from Lewitt, who reached out recently and asked if I'd be interested to share about it, which after learning about it, I've been pretty excited about because it's a microphone with a lot of really unique and innovative features. So this is a tube mic, look at that beautiful tube, but it's also a FET mic. It's like several different premium mics rolled into one because you can get the clean precision of a FET circuit if you want, or you can choose between a variety of more characterful tube responses. And you can even blend between the tube and the FET, and you can output from both circuits at once. So this controller that it comes with is where that happens, and on here you can also control all the settings that are normally found on the mic itself, like the low roll-off, attenuation, polar pattern. So whoever's engineering can have this with them in the sweet spot, listening, auditioning these adjustments in real time, rather than having to run back and forth between the mic. And here's a little detail that I really love. The pop shield is magnetic. When I first pulled this out of the case, I wasn't sure how it would attach, so I just kind of held it near the microphone and it snapped into place, and I was delighted. Why did this ever become a thing. It's a beautiful mic. You're hearing it on all the music in this video, and some folks have posted really comprehensive tests between the different settings and what they sound like if you're interested in nerding out about that. So thank you, Lewitt. Their link is in the description.
Chased out by thoughts in the flood, knowing that you'll never make the cut. Going from a numbness to a different numbness. Going from a numbness to a different numbness.
Now, beyond just showing the mic, there's a reason I've been including all these music making vignettes in this video, and it comes back to that idea of branding and consistency. When I was growing up, I fell in love with every new type of music I discovered, and I just wanted to absorb as much of it as possible, whether it was Beethoven or Mariah Carey or Miles Davis or Aphex Twin. And so in my own creative process, I kind of cemented this attitude of being the no genre guy or the any genre guy. And eventually I would actually set my releases so that if I was working on two things that sounded similar, I would deliberately make sure to release something completely different in between them. I was just trying so hard to break that notion of an artist needing to have a sound or a brand. Terrible idea. It was terrible back then, and it's still terrible now as I continue to do it, although I'll talk about that hack that I found in just a moment. Focus doesn't only apply to your work because it'll make your work the best that it can be, it also applies because it focuses your output. Because, like it or not, branding is half the game. If you want people to get on board with what you're doing, you need to set an expectation, and then you need to meet or exceed that expectation and repeat. That's how money and opportunities come your way, because the people with money and opportunities can trust and rely on what they will get if they give that money or those opportunities to you. And I heard this thing about branding once that really brought it home for me, and it was that whether you like it or not, you are putting a brand out into the world. Whatever people see you do, it makes them feel a certain way, it creates an expectation, and that is a brand. And it might be a weak brand, it might be a confusing brand, it might just be all over the place, but that's still part of your picture. Now, the next thing someone sees from you, if it's completely different from their expectations, that can register as disappointment, and then they're gonna bounce. Editing right now, I feel like I slightly botched that. I just wanna add a bit of nuance. This thing that I heard was more like, whether or not you're deliberate about it, you're creating a brand with your actions, and so you may as well be deliberate about it. That I felt like was a major turning point in my thinking about it of like, who needs branding? Or like, why can't I just do whatever I want? Yeah, embrace the power of the brand. So I've spent almost 20 years putting out all kinds of different music, and most of that time has felt like an uphill battle. It's felt like for every 3 fans I gain, I lose 2. And I can accept that now. It makes perfect sense. If you found me when I was doing upbeat comedy songs, you most likely didn't enjoy when I pivoted to folk rock. If the first song you liked of mine was a political rap, chances are you won't care about my new 45-minute ambient piece. And pretty much my whole discography is like this. Almost every release is like a rug that I'm pulling out from underneath the last one. All of my friends in the industry who are super successful have that focus. They have the focus of work, showing up every day to head towards the same goal, and they have the focus of output, of bringing their audience along for the ride with them rather than throwing them for a loop every time, like this guy. So my hack was branding myself instead of my music. I was this weirdo who was always experimenting with new things in music, so that was the brand. I put that at the forefront. Come to the channel and check out the weirdo who's always experimenting with new things in music. And I went all in on YouTube, and I had that focus of working on YouTube every day, 2 videos per week, but I still got to be as all over the place as I wanted musically because everything still fit under that umbrella of having fun and experimenting with making music. And so naturally, my videos became much more popular than my music. It was a stronger brand, it had more appeal, even if the music was super different from video to video, even if you hated a lot of the music that I was making, you knew that you could pretty much open any one of my videos and be entertained or learn something, or hopefully both. And I could talk about production or engineering or songwriting, or I could explain a music theory concept I thought was intriguing, or I could showcase some interesting new gear, or I could make any kind of music that I wanted to. It was all part of the Andrew Huang show. If you're anything like me with very diverse musical interests, maybe this sort of angle could work for you, and you should go ahead and start that YouTube channel. But if you're after the kind of music career that probably comes to mind more readily when people think of music careers, I can't stress enough how important that focus is. Don't change your sound up all the time. It's going to alienate your listeners. Don't spread yourself over multiple endeavors. Spend all your free time on one thing. That's the best advice I can give you. You know how every once in a while McDonald's will put a bunch of salads on their menu, or even pizza, and it lasts for like 2 weeks? Because that's not what most people want from McDonald's. And it hurts their bottom line to keep it available for the few people who do want it. McDonald's wants to be the most successful possible version of McDonald's, so their best move is to just keep offering hot, salty garbage. Same thing applies in the music business, maybe even the hot, salty garbage part. But that strong brand, that single point of focus, that is the path to the most possible success. And this is very much do as I say and not as I do, because I have never had that focus musically. And then even with YouTube, after a couple years, I got burned out and decided that I would rather be less successful than I could be if it meant I could explore and enjoy more of what I wanted to do. So I don't have that intense focus anymore. I have multiple career focuses. Foci? I'm releasing music, I've got my online class, I've got Flip Sampler, I'm collaborating with some folks on some music hardware. You saw me using that thing with the open circuit board earlier in this video. Watch out. And I'm still making YouTube videos on no particular schedule. Obviously, I have the luxury and the privilege of being able to do my career this way because of the massive foundation that I built when I was going super hard on just YouTube and making this channel as big as it can be. Now though, growing on YouTube isn't a priority for me. I still want to keep it going. I still love making these videos. I just want to make these videos, and I'm generally less interested in the types of video concepts that get millions of views. I'm okay being the less popular weirdo McDonald's that has a menu of like mostly salads, but also some burritos. And so to bring it back, I once again have that question that nags at me sometimes of what more can I do for my music career? But more often now, it's just, what do I want to do next in my music career? It's a nice place to be. I would definitely wish it for any of you, but I'll say it again. To have the best shot at succeeding in an industry that notoriously chews people up and spits them out, intense singular focus is the way to go. Really tames your existential dread too. I miss that part of it, but right now I just don't have that all-encompassing, all-consuming thing that I want to do with my career. And I'm still just trying to break that idea of an artist needing to have a specific sound, because as much as I now have a brand or am a brand, I'm still just a person who likes to make stuff.
80 strokes across the river, a couple hours to the top of the hill, gentle, sad eyes, as if they know the future. 7 strokes in 7 years. Every day you're taking the pills. One light, no smokes. Try to keep the weight on. Well, I've been trying to tell you why, as you've been trying to say goodbye. And if I need to, then I will believe in the other side.
Hope you got something out of this video. Let me know what you think, or if there's anything like this that you'd want me to cover in the future, leave a comment. Thanks again to Lewitt for sponsoring. The LCT 1040 is a beautiful microphone. They're linked in the description. Also, the Moog Matriarch giveaway is still happening for another couple weeks. That's linked in the description too. And yeah, check it out. I'll see you in the next video.